Peace. Peace, people. What to go on? Like the video, share, subscribe, hit that Cash App. You know what it is. Just want to get into this, do just a quick review of this video that I caught on the line yesterday on YouTube that was trending. And that's this Tasha K versus, what's her name? Tokyo Toni. That's her name. The mother of Miss Blac Chyna. And let me just say this. Tasha K is good at what she does. She's real. I'm not a sub to this chick, but if I see her trending, I'm gonna go ahead and see what she's talking about. I mean, obviously she's into gossip. Sometimes obviously gossip can be goofy and sometimes it can be mindless, but sometimes she actually speaks about some pretty intelligent stuff. And I can't, even though I don't like that I'm not into the conscious community like that. She had a pretty good interview with a guy by the name of Shakka Ahmose. Shakka Ahmose is this, I guess, former entertainer, now conscious dude, and now, has his own business, does his own music. I'm not into it, but whatever. And there's, I know him and Tazariak went back and forth, and Tazariak leveled a few accusations. And if you see dude, you can imagine the accusations that he's leveled against him that other people have leveled, but whatever. But the interview itself was a great interview. The way she framed it, she's a great listener. Here's what I like about it. Here's a couple of things. First of all, she's good at what she does. Very good personality, number one. Number two, her interview style is very, she's a great listener. And she asks good questions. You know who else is good? A male counterpart. He's passed a couple years ago. His name is Combat Jack. A lot of y'all know who Combat Jack is. Combat Jack, great interviewer. He just asks the right questions and he just sits there. And as you see this interview, she just sits there and she just lets whoever she's interviewing talks. And they just basically ramble on and expose themselves. Also, one of the main things I like about this chick, all right, African sister, very natural. I know a lot of these people online and personalities, they wear a lot of makeup. I get it. I understand. But when you look at these internet models, these Instagram especially, ISG hoes with, the filters, and they're all light skinned, and they got, even if they're not light skinned, they got the fake hair, the fake body parts, whatever. This chick has none of that. And by the way, somebody left a comment in the last video I did about Tasha K. This is a couple videos back saying, rumor is, or I suspect that she's a transvestite on the low. I mean, I don't know, but not, bro. You can, listen, stop it. And that type of talk kind of ties into this video and the whole, how this Illuminati Baphomet nonsense. Listen, sometimes you can't tell from far away if somebody's a hybrid or not, because there's a lot of weirdos out there. Listen, the girl, you can hear how she talks. The breasts are real. That pregnancy was real. Stop it already. Stop the dumb talk. They do the same thing with Michelle Obama as well. Oh, Michelle got a dick and she's this. Nah, Michelle, look at her old pictures. She was a tall, awkward woman. That's what she is. And since she's a FLOTUS, I guess, when you're the president of the United States or when you're the first lady, you can look like an ogre times 10. They're going to find a way to make you look good. Right? And she's a decent looking woman, good shape. But Tasha K, come on, y'all. I mean, she's ratchet and everything like that, but she's not. This is a full-blown woman. Stop it already. But the interview, though, with this chick, Tokyo Toni or whatever, this shit revealed a lot. The main thing that you learn from this video, right? The main thing is that these celebrities that you look at and, they, especially just to deal with this chick, just a little I've seen with her and her daughter, Chyna, they can drive all the fancy cars they want, the Rolls or Bentley, and you show them in nice houses that these reality shows pay a mint. Okay, you on these reality shows, they pay you like $250,000 or $500,000 or even $2 million, like Nene Lakes. It doesn't matter. These people are absolutely troubled individuals. All right, and if you hooked up with the Kardashians, I don't care what the Kardashians show you. You don't want to be in that lifestyle, believe me. All right, now Tokyo Toni, this chick, East Coast chick, right? Anyone who goes back far enough, she's former stripper. All right, you by the name of Miss Toni. You can go Google it. You know, she was on this site, New York Chocolate Models. A lot of these models, they're basically strippers, porn stars, or whatever. But they were based in the Bronx, I think. You know, they had a couple of them. This is even around Giuliani time, when Giuliani tried to shut down all the strip clubs. Giuliani and his freakish self, you know, marrying his first cousin and, you know, fucking kissing other dudes and everything like that. But whatever, I'll leave that shit alone. But even during what they called Giuliani time, and they called New York Giuliani time during his reign, because this dude was just, he was ruthless, especially with black folks. And, you know, if you're a coon, you'll say, yeah, well, he took down crime and everything. Listen, they say that in every city. They oppress you, and after they oppress you and put you in a bad spot, and when you resort to get to the point where you just resort to doing nothing but crime, then they beat you over the head. Meanwhile, Giuliani, who milked a tragedy for his own benefit, all right, in 9/11, shamelessly, and now people are looking at him how he is with Trump, and you're saying, gee, how was he always like that? Yeah, he was always like that. He was always a scumbag. Now the world gets to see what New Yorkers saw. But yeah, man, this Toni Tokyo chick, she was a former stripper, you know, basically stripping up in the Bronx. And then, of course, she admitted that she hoed as well, which I didn't know. But then again, a lot of strippers are prostitutes. A lot of them, you know, they strip during the day, and, you know, after they may hook up with a dude afterwards, go to a hotel and make some extra cash. So apparently this is what Toni Tokyo did. All right. And what was so crazy is that she did this, supposedly during this interview, she did this to help to raise her daughter. But clearly this chick was just not, when you hear some of the stuff she did, she was not the greatest of mothers, because how could you, there are women who come from bad situations, and they may decide, all right, to go out and basically go for the fast money, which is what this woman did. All right, not every woman from the hood gets into stripping or gets into prostitution. You've heard tons of stories. Just look at a lot of these ball players, and they talk about their mother. And Leah, my mother, she worked 2 jobs, 3 jobs to keep the house closed. You don't hear there aren't more stories about women being strippers and prostitutes. This chick, Tokyo Toni, decided to be a stripper, decided to be a prostitute. Even talked about how she was raped at one point. But she did this, and she told this story about, yeah, I told my daughter I was a secretary in the morning, and I was a bodyguard for the president at night. That shit was so, it was so goofy how she said that, because I guess she moved from the Bronx, from stripping, and then she moved down to DC, to Southeast DC, with her daughter. Now, anybody who knows Southeast DC is the worst part of DC. That's the worst hood in DC, Southeast DC. So if you're doing that, and you the stripper, and you also hoeing, trying to raise your teenage daughter, you think that word ain't gonna come around where she's gonna eventually find out? And then some of the things she did, how basically she told a story about her daughter. We talked about Blac Chyna, how she allowed Blac Chyna to let one of her boyfriends stay in the house with the both of them at the age of 15. And she said how she would stay in one room and Blac Chyna and her boyfriend would stay in another room. I mean, come on, bro. What the fuck you think's gonna happen? And then obviously, when Chyna gets of age, she's 18, 19. She gets into stripping, and she gets into stripping. Who knows? Maybe she might have hoed as well. But this chick was just a bad mother all the way around. And what happened with Tokyo Toni, what she did, obviously she went for the fast money, and she didn't get where she thought she wanted to go. Where Blac Chyna pretty much did the same thing, stripping. Maybe she did some hoeing as well, and now she's a star, clearly making some millions of dollars, clearly. All right, paying a price for doing it as well. I mean, look at this chick. I mean, let's face it. Blac Chyna, I'm sure she doesn't look good in person. All right, all these new body parts, and changed up her face and the blonde hair and the freaking enhanced butt and the enhanced breasts and shit. Clearly that shit is dangerous as hell, because you got women who die, doing all that shit. But what's funny is that besides her being a bad mother, not only was she a bad mother, she's clearly jealous of her own daughter. All right, because again, she did all that shit, the hoeing and the stripping and stuff, and her daughter went into the same business, and her daughter looked pretty decent as a youth, and her daughter surpassed her, right? And what's crazy is this too. She was talking about how her man Tigger used to beat her up. Now I don't know why you would sit here and just tell all this family business about your daughter just because you kind of jealous of her. And what's weird about Chyna, let's face it, you grew up with, you raised her yourself. How do you not take responsibility of how she turned out? And when you look at Blac Chyna and her relationship with Tigger, that's her first baby daddy, this chick, this is just the weird dynamic of how what a lot of some of these black men, I'm not going to put it on all of them. Tigger doesn't represent all black men. But you got this black woman who clearly loves you, has a baby with you, does everything she can, changing her body, changing her shape, whitening up her skin, literally trying to turn into a white woman. All right? And this dude Tigger leaves this chick eventually for one of the Kardashians, Kylie Kardashian, a white chick. Look at Kylie's old videos or old photos. A white chick who in turn takes all this plastic surgery to try to become black. So you got one black chick that you have who basically, that, in my opinion, that's abuse. You got your woman trying to do that for you. That's a form of abuse. You see T.I. doing that with Tiny. Tiny looks horrible. She looks horrible. All right? She looks absolutely dreadful. I mean, she can put all that plastic surgery she wants. Eventually, that milk is going to kick in. The milk genes are going to kick in, and she won't be able to do too much. But even now, I'm sorry. Look at some videos of Tiny and her performance. She looks absolutely horrible. That's to me, that's a form of abuse that your man is doing, and you're doing everything you can to please a dude who clearly can't be satisfied because he's out grabbing other chicks to sleep with you. So it's just, again, look at all these things that these Hollywood cats do, and we try to, I don't know, align with this weirdo shit. All right? But one thing she was talking about, and I'm just back to Tokyo Toni or whatever she is. She's, like I said, she's a bad mother. She's a jealous mother as well. But then she started, during the interview, this chick starts talking about the Baphomet. All right? As soon as she opened her mouth about the Baphomet, I'm just like, you know what, miss? You need to go sit down somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I mean, anytime you see these former stars or people in Hollywood, you see people on TV start talking about the Baphomet, all right? Whether it's this chick, whether it's Kanye talking about devil worship, you've heard Monique, get complaining about how Hollywood is. But just a second ago, you weren't saying anything. You tried to get in. You were trying to get in 2 seconds ago. Now that they stopped giving you money, now all of a sudden you mad. Because this is part of the reason why Toni Tokyo's so upset. Or Tokyo Toni? Is that Tokyo Toni? She's upset at her daughter. She's jealous at her daughter because her daughter made more money and became more successful, really portraying a whoredom than she did. And her daughter, from what she's saying throughout this interview, isn't hitting her off with that check. This chick is crazy, right? This Tokyo chick, she talks about how she's a hustler, how she's got partnership in this business and that business, but she's mad because her daughter ain't hitting her off with money. Then she turns around and says, hey, my daughter started going crazy. Then when she got this Baphomet, because apparently she has a Baphomet tattoo on her leg, on one of the enhanced parts in her body, said, oh, I knew that she was a devil worshiper. But wait a minute, hold up. Your daughter, for how many years now? I guess what? She's 33 now. I guess she came out. She had to be around for at least about 10 years or so. Okay, you yourself, Toni, like I said, you've been hoeing since back in the freaking early 2000s, maybe late 90s, right? So you've seen your daughter, she's transformed right in front of your eyes. The fake body parts, the facial surgery, the body enhancements, yeah, all types of tattoos all over her and shit. The skin bleaching, all that shit she's done to herself. She looks like an alien right now. Look at some old pictures of Chyna and look at now. She looks horrible. Horrible. Her body's all over the place. And you trying to tell me that now that she gets one little Baphomet tattoo, that sends you over the top? And by the way, this chick, obviously, Blac Chyna's associated with the Kardashian clan. And the Kardashian clan, let's face it, Kardashian clan is just, they're off the chain. They're crazy. First of all, throughout the interview, you're talking about how you are cool with the son. What's his name? Robert Kardashian. Robert Kardashian is insane. Clearly from what I see. And then when you look at the other kids, you look at Kim. You already know about Kim Kardashian, all right? She's crazy. She gets famous over a freaking porno tape. You got what we already known about Kylie, all right? She's out. She has all this plastic surgery and shit. And what's so funny? You got these dudes chasing black men, and certain black men obviously get turned on by that. But hold on. Don't you know that your kid is not going to look like these Botoxed, enhanced figures that you're marrying? When you look at Khloe Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian has been taking gotten a bunch of plastic surgery. And she's taken a lot of filter pics. Look at old pictures of this chick. She looks like Frankenberry. This chick is ugly looking. I don't mean to diss, but she is not that good looking. How do you think the baby's going to turn out? Look at Kylie. Kylie looks like a basic white chick. I don't care what she does to her body. Don't you know that those genes are going to kick in? You're going to have the babies that you have. They're going to have plastic surgery to look like you. And then you got Kourtney. That's that one out of all the Kardashian clan. See, at least with Kim and Khloe and Kylie, at least they hooked up with accomplished black men. Black men who've done something with their lives. Whether it's Lamar Odom or Kanye or, Chris Humphries or what's his name? Scott, I think the rapper. They hooked up with black. You can say what you want about the black men. At least the black men are accomplished. This Kourtney chick, she's like a baby mama to a bum-ass white dude. A bum white dude that does nothing. She has 3 kids. But, this is why when people talk about how try to label black women as baby mamas and black men are bums. Look at that family, and in all the craziness, the black men, at least, before they go crazy, of course, they're all accomplished. Kanye, Lamar, Chris Humphries, Tristan, they're all accomplished black men. Well, yeah, they're entertainers, but they're accomplished at what they do. Greatly accomplished, high levels. Where you have this white chick, the oldest white chick, who keeps having babies with a bum. So there's all types of weirdo shit with that family, but somehow this Tokyo chick, or Tokyo Toni chick, she confides in the man. I mean, Robert Kardashian, you got so many options, and this man, this is another dude. All the white men in this clan are bums. Robert Kardashian his father was a successful lawyer, right? And he's in a ton of money, and all this guy does nothing. That is some weirdo shit right there. But you're confiding in this dude who, by the way, from what I understand, might have been suicidal a couple times. So this woman right here, and Tasha played it well throughout this interview. She just sat down and allowed this woman to talk. That's all she did. She just allowed this woman to talk and spill the beans. And she started getting into this whole Baphomet thing. Now, when you see these people who were near celebrities, or they obviously, this Tokyo chick wanted to get the same fame as her daughter. And when her daughter cuts her off from the money, she starts claiming this devil worshiping Baphomet. You've seen these guys who, yeah, I've got to expose what's really going on in this industry. Some of y'all have heard of that YouTuber, Hassan Campbell. You know, the big YouTuber, right? The guy who was complaining about Bambaataa and this and that. He's another one, all right? He's another guy. Tried to get into the industry, tried to get famous with the shit. It didn't work out. And I guess to him, Bambaataa saw this dude as a pump and dump, some light-skinned fetish, and then he moved out. He went out to, I guess, the Dominican or Brazil or somewhere, where you got a dime of Hassan Campbell's a dozen, and dude is upset. Now everything's the Baphomet. Everything is Illuminati. Everything's this. Everything's that. When all what's happened is people have just cut you off financially. And now all of a sudden you want to put out the industry secrets. But I guarantee if Blac Chyna hit you off with some money today, you stop that talk. And that goes for this chick. That goes for Hassan Campbell. You've seen freaking Jaguar White, obviously. Somebody gives Jaguar White a contract, a music contract, $2 million. She'd shut up right away. All this bullshit about, well, it's not bullshit, but, you know, all this talk about child molesters and sex rings and so, it would be out the window if someone hits you off with some cash. So she is mad that she's not, man, looking at this family, I would be happy to get away. Listen, just since you're such a hustler, just get your money, keep your mouth shut, right? See your grandkids and whatever, and just keep it moving. But what really turned up during this interview, she played a tape of her screaming at her daughter, calling all sorts of whore, and she sucks dick. Now she's talking about, yeah, well, I'm going to put out a surviving Blac Chyna thing. Please, can we stop using that term, surviving shit? All right, stop comparing everything to R. Kelly. R. Kelly was a fucking, the man was a fucking sociopath. Everybody's surviving now. Get the fuck out of here with that. Stop. I mean, that's just bullshit. But yeah, now it's surviving her daughter. Meanwhile, she plays a tape to Tasha K where she's basically calling her daughter all sorts of whores and this, and you don't give me no money. Basically exposing herself as a money-hungry chick who wants to get back into that lifestyle, that crazy Baphomet lifestyle that she claims to loathe, right? I'm all about God, and I'm about Jesus and the Lord, and they the devil. Meanwhile, you mad because they ain't giving you money. If they gave you money, wouldn't that be dirty money? So this whole, I'm telling you, man, this whole Illuminati bullshit, it just shows you again, people use this Illuminati shit when they're not getting their way. Monique's not getting the part. you know what, look what Hollywood's all about and shit. Even though I like Choke No Joke, all right, and I think a lot of what he's saying is true, if Jay-Z took him back, I think that talk would stop. Hassan Campbell, you already know what it is. That dude is an absolute phony in my opinion. An absolute phony. He's nothing but a gossip hound now. And he bashes black people. He ain't even black. He needs to get the fuck out of here with that. But these dudes right here, when you start hearing the Illuminati bullshit, it just means that they're not getting their check. That's all it is. And like I said, check out the interview. I'll leave a link down there, but but this interview is really revealing. But again, these celebrities, when you look at what's behind the scenes as far as what these guys do, you want to be hooked. You'd want to trade places with Chyna, all right, or with one of the Kardashians, all right. You freaking marry Kylie or have a kid with Kylie, and her daughter's like your kid is freaking sitting on the lap of some tranny granny. And I'm not knocking the alphabet community, but let's face it, this dude decided he wanted to be a tranny at 65. He goes and has a full-blown family, right? And then all of a sudden at 65, I want to chop off my rod and grow a set of tits. Everything about that whole area, that whole family, I would want to run away from. I wouldn't be. Why she would be mad? Listen, just hook up with your grandkids, try to protect them. But this idea that you want money from them, I guess that money, that Baphomet money, ain't too bad or not too dirty to begin with. So, yeah, man, the video is wild. But again, good job. Let's tell you, this chick, even if you don't like the gossip or what have you or what she does, you can learn a lot from her style. She's really good at what she does. But that's basically it, y'all. Like, share, subscribe. Peace, and big up on yourself.